I'm going to open it up for questions, and not that I have all of the answers or any of the answers, but I bet there's some in here who can help me if I don't. Question? Okay, I'm coming over to you, Linda.
Stop the sun. God stop the sun. Is it on?
You really have to put it in
In my mouth. No, thank you. Anyway, God stopped the sun, and that day was gone. Now, does anybody remember how it was found again in NASA? Do you remember that story? Oh, come on. Someone's got to remember that. Anyway, I'm not sure how. That's what I'm asking. That's my question. NASA somehow, something was coming out wrong in their calculations of doing something about space, and one man, and they were missing 24 hours. You remember that? And India remembers. See, I'm not crazy. You know. Yeah. Right. You can, but I guess you could, yes. But I've got it written down somewhere. I'll look for it next week.
That's amazing, though, isn't it? I mean,
this is something that maybe somebody has the answer to. A long time ago, I saw some information about the fact that the wall of Jericho fell down differently from any other wall. Did anybody else hear that? That it fell outward instead of the usual inward, which is a great testimony. But I want to get some confirmation on that, if anybody will look that up or knows anything about that. But they dug it up and found that they were scattered outward. Research.
I have a couple comments. J. Vernon McGee talked about Jericho and the wall, and he said the thousands that marched around just crunched the earth below and just loosened the walls. That was the whole purpose. It just loosened the walls. The two times that Joshua did not consult God was the defeat of Ai and the Gibeons coming in fooling them, which is the big lesson that Annette was saying. You know, even though a decision needs to be made instantly, we have got to consult God. And that's, I'm telling myself, I've got to stop and ask God, is this the direction? Another thing that McGee mentions in his lessons on Canaan is that the battles sound pretty gory when you hear of the animals and the children and the babies. He said these people were eaten up with diseases because they had led such immoral lives for so long, and they were just diseased from head to toe, and everything they touched was diseased. Another thing was, this last verse talks about Joshua taking all the land, but in the next chapter it shows that he didn't actually take all the land. So I've always been confused how that was written. You know, there was yeah, right. So there's a lot more. Yeah, and I think I had written in my Bible that there were 300,000 square miles or something like that were given to them, but they only took 30,000 square miles. I'll bring my Bible next week. I have it written in there. So in the end, they didn't take all the land that was given to Israel.
okay, well, thanks. Anybody else? Here we have the scholar right here that's seminary degree right here.
And I have no answer to any of those questions. I did have a question, though. Do you know the time span, the number of years of all these wars? Do you know how much time passed from beginning of war to the end of the war?
Okay. I don't. Does anybody else know the time frame of... No. "39 years was the entire conquest, right? Here's another seminary degree. Yeah, it is close to 40 years. Lots of Bible scholars in here. Anybody else? Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. That's the next story. Okay. Well, I think that concludes yes.